What's up, fight fans? My name is Anik Subramanian. I'm a host for millions. Today, I'm here with Georgia's own CJ Mean Dean. CJ, first of all, how are you, my man? How's life?
Oh man, blessed man. Hanging out with the family today.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What you guys doing?
Oh man, we just kicking it right now. Getting ready to do some house chores, but we're just cooling it today, man.
Nice, nice. House chores doesn't sound too fun, but the family time does.
Hey,
So,
you ain't wrong.
exactly, chores come with every family outing, but we're blessed for that. Now, I'm going to jump right into it, right? I hear you potentially have a fight July 27th in Atlanta with NFC. Is that finalized? Do you have an opponent? Tell me more about that.
Yeah, we're finalized. It's actually a fight that we're getting rebooked. Me and this guy Antonio Walker, we were supposed to fight a while back. There were some complications on his end. He had a fight and got put on concussion protocol, so we had to take some time, let him heal up, do all the things, man. And of course, I wish him the best. Super nice guy, man. Ain't no hate towards him, all love, man. But it's strictly business, man. He signed the dotted line, so it's war.
That makes sense, man. It's always war, right? Now, how's training camp been? Have you been doing anything specific in preparation for this fight?
Oh man, it's really just trying. And it sounds crazy. It's like man, I'm just trying to dog myself out as much as possible. Um, over the course of the years, I've been kind of I want to say lax. I've been really too relaxed in there, just like trying to play it smart, stay technical, and not really be that vicious guy. And have been really getting the finish. But I got close in my last fight against Shoaib Muhammad. Had the rear naked. He decided to be a little cheater though, started pulling on my ear. But no, I'm hunting for the finish in this one. I'm calling it the way I see it. I see it as a first round knockout. Yeah, I'm not letting it go past the first round.
I like that plan, man. I'm wondering, did you get any inspiration from Paulo Costa? He said he didn't fight his fight against Sean Strickland. He was worried about conserving energy, point fighting, but he said he's got to go back to his own ways of being mean and tough and going for the kill. I'm wondering, did you get any inspiration from that?
Yeah, man. That's a lot of hesitation that I've had in the past too, where it's like, fight to win, not necessarily go and put on the pressure for the fight. And that's something that I've started doing in the gym a lot more, is putting a lot more pressure instead of staying at range, kind of closing the distance and getting in the pocket and start throwing my hands instead of just staying on the outside and kickboxing. I've been working a lot more on my boxing instead. I went back to my roots. So going back there has been a lot more comfortable, I'll say, than staying with kickboxing, kind of going back to those beginner roots, man.
I like that. It seems like you're going to live up to your nickname, Mean. So that sounds good to me. So your prediction for the fight is a first round knockout. Any specific shot you're going for? I understand
Oh
you
man,
can't plan these things, but what do you envision?
no man, I can feel it in my bones, man. I really feel like it's gonna be that Ryan Garcia left hook, man. I have a gut feel. I've been landing that left hook and training and sparring left and right. I feel like it's gonna be that left hand right behind the ear that's gonna shut the lights out.
Beautiful, man. Can't wait to see it. Now, you're training in Georgia with Team American Top Team, Team Lima with Diego and Douglas Lima, former Bellator champ, UFC vet. What's that been like? And what do those guys mean to you?
Oh man, dude, that's like it's a blessing, man. Like I started training when I was 16, but really like the first live fight I actually saw, it was actually one of Douglas's fights. It used to be over here at this place called Wild Bill's here in Duluth. It ain't around no more. But seeing those guys in their start, especially like in a lower circuit, and then you see them climb that ladder, it really kind of shows you that yeah, you don't start off small. Ain't nobody get the shot at the big show right off the rip. You got to put the time to work in, and then to be around these guys day in and day out, man. And they normally say, never meet your heroes, man. I'm damn glad to have met my heroes.
That's beautiful said. Now, at American Top Team, Team Lima, you're training with Cody Durden, Trayshawn Gore, hopefully future UFC fighter Reese Watkins. How often do you spar with them? How often do you roll with them? Tell me about that regimen.
Man, it's not as much as I would like. I know their schedules are a lot different than mine. Uh, More than likely with me, if I ever see Trace he does give me a lot of pad work and advice when it comes to technicality in my striking. Um, Cody is one of those guys, man, that where you can find inspiration by just having a conversation with the man. He kind of like that fire under you. And that, those are great guys to have. And same thing with like Reese, man. Just seeing him work, he's a soft spoken dude, man. But like I've said, he is straight up the Mike Tyson of MMA. He's a silent killer, man. But when he goes in there and he throws them hands, his phrase "swinger gets swung on." So and every time he comes out, 100% finish record, he seems to be doing the swinging.
I like that. That sounds really exciting. I'm excited to watch his next fight. Now, speaking of some of your teammates, Cody Durden, right? He's someone who lost a couple UFC fights, went on a great win streak, put up a good fight against Tagir Ulanbekov last year. Cody's Cody's really making his name in the flyweight division. He's also a really funny guy. He talks some funny trash on Twitter, always making jokes. You got to tell me, funniest thing he's done.
Oh, dude. I can't remember I can't remember the guy he fought, man. Dude, he was in there and he was dogging this guy at the end of the round, man. You already know Cody's a savage, man. Like he is a savage. But when he got up off the ground, and he's just staring, smiling in this dude's face while this dude's a bloody mess, man. You're sitting there like, man, that's a savage man. That's a bad man.
I know who you're talking about. That was what he did to Jake Hadley a couple fights ago last year, and
Yeah.
that was fun.
Yeah, that was a great fight to watch, man. We'll be $1,000 too. So I gotta love that one, man.
Hey, you owe Cody a drink or something.
Man, I want more than that.
Yeah. So I know you have your fight coming up July 27th. You got some other things potentially in the works as well. One thing you did today was message the BKFC president, my guy David Feldman, and you mentioned wanting to fight Bryce Hall, a little bit of a call out for him. Tell me why you want to fight Bryce Hall and, what do you want to do?
I want to knock his fucking teeth out. I see a lot of these YouTubers coming out here taking a lot of stuff from guys that have been working their ass off. I've been doing this since I was 16. You got guys in the gym who've been dedicated their entire lives to go out here and do this. But these YouTubers, I'll be real, just like Jake, Logan, all these other guys that like to play pretend that they're fighters. You guys take your money that you got from 5-year-olds to 12-year-olds, man. Got from mommy daddy's credit card to send you guys money and donations. Y'all didn't have to work for nothing. Y'all didn't come from the trenches. Y'all never had to really, really get in there and work for nothing. Like Jake and Logan, bunch of Disney Channel kids. Like those guys ain't did nothing. What has Bryce done in combat sports besides go fight some scrum? Right? The guy that he fought last time, that dude quit. That dude quit. He came in there, didn't throw one punch, backed up the entire time. Bryce is not a real fighter. He's not. He always talks like, people keep saying I'm not a real fighter. Well, I just fought a real fighter. No, you fought a man that quit. I fight at 145 pounds. My last fight I took was 4 days' notice at 165, almost 170 pounds. The guy I fought, he 100% was over 170 pounds. Well, when I'm in that fight, dude, we're in the back sweating. I lost about 5 pounds coming out to that fight. So size doesn't matter, man. Like I will conquer Goliath day in and day out. It doesn't matter. You can look at the record amateur wise. I may not have had the greatest amateur record, but that record, in my opinion, like everybody else is gonna say, that don't mean shit. Because as soon as we go pro, that goes back to 0-0, and we right back at the beginning.
You're completely right about that. And actually, Bryce Hall's last opponent, they fought at 165 pounds, but he was a bantamweight at 35. So you should fight a guy bigger. And, hey, you're one weight class up. So I like that idea. Would you be open to doing bare knuckle or any other combat sports for more than one fight?
Oh, I'm aiming for BKFC, man. I want that realness, man. MMA, I love it. I love watching the sport. I love competing in it. But like, seeing how much BKFC has grown over the 6 years they've been around now is incredible. I see guys that are going and fighting for them that are making more money than they ever made in the UFC. Platinum Mike Perry, for instance, that man fought for years in the UFC to make about $1 million. Man went in there and fought one time, made $1 million. You know what I'm saying? So like fighting BKFC is real for me, and that's that real action. Like I like MMA because it is like a real fight. You know what I mean? But ain't nothing more real than taking off those gloves and letting your knuckles touch somebody's face.
David Feldman, you're my guy. I think you have a guy you should sign. I'm gonna shout you out. I'm gonna post this because I went to my first BKFC show at BKFC 61 in Connecticut. Man, it was different. It was so fun. That crowd was lit up, and they had a bunch of local Northeast studs fighting, including Jimmy Rivera, New Jersey's own, and they really put on a good show. I feel like anything. They have a lot of Florida shows. I don't know if they're legalized in Georgia yet, but if they are in that region, they could definitely put you on a prospect series or something like that. So I like
Oh
the
yeah.
idea of that.
Yeah, I mean, Georgia, they just legalized bare knuckle boxing, and so it's there. The opportunity's there, and I'm ready. We did the tryouts here. They came to our gym. Chris Lytle, um, Josh Marr, Joe Elmore all came out to help us out, and a few other guys from the BKFC roster to help us understand and show what it takes to be a bare knuckle fighter. And going and doing that process and seeing what it takes and talking with Chris and the other guys, it opened my eyes to this is what I want to do. My family does not like what I want to do. They do not like this in any way, shape, or form. They're like, bro, you're too pretty to go out there and get your face messed up. But again, I this is something I've always wanted. It's not even just about the fighting, it's the sense of competition. Like I competed all throughout high school, multiple different sports, and then after graduating high school and not competing again in college, I miss that. So that sense of raw competition it's addicting. And the people that are addicted to that are the ones that are really hungry for it.
That's really inspirational, man. I'm going to shift gears a little bit. You posted a lot today on your story about Men's Mental Health Awareness Month in the month of June, right? Tell me, like, what made you want to post that, and how does that impact you having a month like that where, we're finally getting awareness for a really important topic?
Yeah, man. As a man myself, man, I've had my battles with depression. I'm a suicide survivor of my own cause, and as well as family members and friends. Um, and a lot of them are guys, man. And the part is, a lot of guys can't talk about their stuff, and then when they feel like they can, sometimes their stuff gets used against them, and then it brings them right back to getting put back in that shell. And I understand that the facade of being a man is, oh, suck it up, buttercup. You got to put your head down. You're gonna be all right, man up. You're gonna tell your 5-year old son that when he comes home from a kid bullying him on the playground, or somebody calls him something nasty or says something mean to him, but you're gonna tell him that, oh, he's just got to suck it up. He can't talk to nobody about it. That's that's the problem with a lot of society, is that men aren't getting the help that they need, are also getting the proper love, man. And it's sad, like I'm an advocate for the gay community. You know what I mean? Like I notice it, and I kind of did a social experiment with it, and a lot of people kind of got mad at me, and I just kind of wanted to see what would happen. I made a post about pride and to see what would happen. I got about 30, 40 likes from both men and women across. I put one post on Facebook talking about men's mental health. Man, we didn't even it close to double digits, and the only people that liked that post was one woman and about 6 men. So it shows that when it comes to social issues, and again, I'm not trying to pick apart the gay community with this. It's that a lot of stuff when it comes to issues is based off of likes, comments, and shares. When it comes to the actual issue where people are dying and taking their own lives, nobody wants to talk about it, especially with soldiers, men that have served in this country, that they're not getting a lot of the help that they should be getting, one from the VA or any of the other, multiple services that are offered through the VA. To see a man that goes out there, pounds of dirt with a rifle in his hand, protecting me and your freedom here, people's other people's freedoms across the globe. It's disheartening, and it hurts to see these men go through all this stuff. And if I can fight that fight any way I can, maybe have a little bit tough love on it, but if I'm gonna fight that fight for him, I'm gonna fight that fight for him.
Man, that's beautiful. That's really, it's really insightful, and we need more people like you, because I feel like, people sometimes push too much of being a man. Sometimes people push too much without not being responsible. Like, a majority of the population is just trying to have men that are responsible, but also in a place where it's safe to talk about their feelings, where it's not used against them. And you're someone, like you said, you're fighting the good fight, and hopefully we have made strides as a society, but we got a long way to go. So I really do appreciate you touching on that, man. Of
Thank you, man.
course. Now I'm gonna move over to some less serious questions. We're gonna lighten it up before things end, right? You mentioned you're not going to Australia because they got some dangerous
Ooh,
bugs.
mm-mm, mm-mm. Man, listen, my boy Haley, he's gonna crack some jokes to me later for this, man. I've noticed there are so many things in Australia that can freaking kill you, dude. Like I'm like, man, you go out there walking, next thing you know, you got a spider crawling through your window that's the size of a baseball mitt, man. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm good.
I
Like
don't
I
blame
said,
you.
I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go there. Listen, the company Rage, y'all gonna have to sponsor me with a whole case of bug spray going over there, man. I can't do big bugs like that.
No, the CJ Dean and Raid sponsorship. That's gonna be the next epic sponsorship in combat sports. You know
Let's
who actually
go.
was making fun of the bugs? Robert Whitaker, former UFC middleweight champion. He's posted multiple videos of him screaming at like spiders that have gotten into his house. They're big. I can't blame him.
Dude, they're huge. I know exactly which video you're talking about. Man, he's got the broom over here, man. Dude, I'm the same exact way, man. Like, listen, my lady, she's all about the spiders and the creepy crawlers. She's like, oh, don't kill it, don't kill it. Nah, man, if it's got 8 legs and it crawls, no, it's gotta go. It's gotta go.
Hey man, opposites attract. You got to do what you got to do.
You ain't wrong, brother.
Yeah. So now a couple rapid fire questions. Since you're a featherweight, if you could pick two featherweights to defend you in a street fight, who would it be?
Ooh, two featherweights to defend me in a street fight. Well, first things first, I got to go with my guy Jose Aldo. That's my dude. Always has, always will be. And man, we talking about one more featherweight. Who would I choose? Honestly, man, I might have to go with Volk, man. That rugby strength, man. I honestly, you can't beat it, man. Like that, the guy cleared out the whole 145-pound division. I still love that dude, man. No matter what's happened, that dude is still the goat in my eyes.
I'm with you, man. That's a great answer, by the way. Now I want to ask you about this. Sean Strickland. He sometimes pees in a water bottle when he's driving or when he's in the car because he's got to go. You support it? Would you do that or nah?
Man, I have. Man, I remember going on a road trip with some friends, man. We're going from here to Raleigh and we're stuck in traffic, can't get over, bumper to bumper traffic. I'm like, well, man, what am I gonna do? And granted, this is like just because of anybody watching this was like over 10 years ago, man. They had empty bottle of tequila in the back, and I'm like, well, man, hand me that. Popped over, opened the door, opened the passenger door, just had to let it go, man. It is what it is.
Respect, respect. Now, one last one for me. Conor McGregor, Michael Chandler. What's your prediction for that fight if it does happen?
If Connor can go back to that guy he was when he was on that tear for 145 to 155-pound belts, and he finds that motivation again, he takes it. With the alcohol and the stuff he's doing, the partying that we see him out there doing, I don't believe he gets it done. I think Chandler's been more active. He's done a lot more, and that man is a workhorse. You see him in the gym. You see the physique of the man. You see how this man fights. He is a dog. I ain't fighting that man. Hey, you couldn't pay me enough money to go fight Michael Chandler, dude. That man is a dog, and that dude's huge. But I really think Michael Chandler takes this. In my opinion, I think he takes him in the third round.
Good to know. Now, one last thing for your fans, your supporters, your sponsors, any final message?
Man, to all my sponsors, to my team, my family, everybody, I love you guys very much. I appreciate you guys always being behind me day in and day out, on my good days, my bad days, man. Even the days where I have completely lost my mind. You guys have stuck by me, and I appreciate y'all with all my heart.
And I appreciate you, man. I really love talking to you. Let's talk after you get the big W. Thank you so much, CJ, and have a great rest of the day, man.
You too, brother. Stay blessed, man.
Thank you. You too, man.